Greetings viewers and welcome back to Just Short of Fantastic. In our third installment of Be Our Guest, I'm making another best friend recommended recipe, and it is a lemon chicken skillet. This recipe does not require a whole lot of prep. However, part of the prep it does require is juicing and quartering one lemon. I walked all the way to Lotte Market to buy one lemon. I got champagne problems because I believe in this recipe. So here's my lemon. I stuck it in the microwave for about 10 seconds to loosen up the juices because I do not have a lemon juicer because I ain't fancy. And I'm gonna do this the old-fashioned way with a fork. I felt that this would be entertaining enough that it would be worth videotaping. So here we go. Juicing a lemon. Yay. Okay, so the first thing you want to do after microwaving your lemon for about 10 seconds is to cut it in half. Now, you might think you want to cut it this way, which you do want to if you have a traditional juicer. However, I do not. So I found that it is easier to cut it lengthways, like this. Yay! Now you've got your lemon juice halves, and you are ready to go. You will also need your measuring cup, or whatever you're going to catch the juice in, and a fork. I also need one more piece of equipment, a fine mesh strainer. I will be using my T-ball. And this is to catch the seeds. I mean, if you had one that was like this, that would be better, obviously, but I do not. So here we go. All right. So you can start by squeezing it out, just with your hands, and get all that goodness. See? The strainer is catching the seeds. You can't really see it, but it's fine. And by trying to get closer, I've ruined everything. Yep, I've ruined everything forever. Oh, there we go. Okay. So, all right. I am now going to start using my fork, simultaneously squeezing and twisting the fork inside the lemon. And this will just ensure that we get as much of that juice as possible. We will be using the lemon pieces in the skillet as well as the juice, so you don't have to get all of it out, but, you know, do your best. You should always do your best. This one's tricky. Oh, it's okay. It's just my laptop. It's fine. It's fine. And done. And just sort of get any last drops out of it. The recipe says you should have about a quarter cup, and we pretty much do, so success! Okay, with that done, we're pretty much ready to start cooking. And I have to say, I didn't walk to Lotte Mart just for a lemon. I obviously also had to pick up a bottle of wine because you can't be our guest without having wine. I looked at different ones. There was one that I thought about trying, but then I just remembered how amazing the Wine Men of Gotham Moscato was, and I picked up another bottle of that because I'm on vacation and I should just enjoy things that I enjoy and not take the risk of trying anything new. I mean, this recipe is new, so that's my risk, and I'm pairing it with a wine that I already know I love. So cheers to that. Okay, so first step, heating 1 tablespoon of your cooking oil of choice. I'm going with olive oil in your skillet until it's hot. Swirl that around. Give that a good swirl. While that's heating up, I'm going to take the Italian seasoning that I prepared before and coat our chicken breasts with that. When I read the recipe, it called for Italian seasoning, and I knew I didn't have that, so I went online and I searched homemade Italian seasoning. I discovered that Italian seasoning is made up of like so many different spices and herbs, and I was kind of off put by it. And then I was mentioning it to my best friend, like, oh, I'd really like to try that recipe, but the Italian seasoning isn't available here and I have to make it. There's a lot of ingredients involved in that, and the recipe itself only calls for 1 teaspoon. So my best friend was like, oh, I didn't use Italian seasoning. I just used basil, oregano, and rosemary. Wait, that's wrong. Basil, rosemary, and thyme. And I was like, I have all of those things. She also told me that she didn't just use 1 teaspoon, she used 2. She did 1 teaspoon on the top of the chicken breast and then another one on the bottom, which I think is great. So I'm following her advice. I did 1 teaspoon of basil, I think. Yeah, I did 1 teaspoon of basil and a half teaspoon each of the rosemary and thyme. And then I also added in my salt and pepper into this seasoning mix as well, since the recipe also calls for salt and pepper. Let's season these chicken breasts. So the recipe calls for 4 chicken breasts. I'm doing 2.5. I'm doing that because you also have broccoli and I'm adding a carrot. So instead of having that other 1.5 chicken breasts, I'm gonna have a carrot as well because more vegetables are good for you. Enough talk, let's season. All good, okay, nice. We're gonna put those in our hot skillet and we're gonna cook those for about 4 minutes per side or until golden brown. Okay, our chicken breasts are done, so we're gonna take those out and set them aside. And then we have to add our 1 cup of chicken broth, which I prepared ahead of time, our lemon juice, and our minced garlic. That's about 4 cloves of minced garlic to our skillet. Let's do it. That is our chicken broth and minced garlic. Here's our lemon juice. Nice. Okay, I don't need the spoon anymore. We're gonna use our cooking spoon. Mix that all up. Then it tells us to put our chicken back in here and add the lemon quarters and to simmer that for about 5 minutes. Lemon quarters on the 4 cardinal points of the compass, as it were. Perfect. Okay, see you soon. All right, it's been 5 minutes. I forgot to mention that, halfway through you should turn the chicken breasts, obviously, so it gets an equal amount of simmering and marinating going on. So after the 5 minutes, it says to add your broccoli, and I'll also be adding a carrot, and to cook that for another additional 5 or so minutes until your broccoli is bright green and tender and your chicken has cooked all the way through. The colors look fabulous. You need to see it. Oh, look at all those beautiful colors. Yes. Guess you're gonna like it. Be in your heart. Guess you're gonna like it. Sprinkles. Guess you're gonna like it. Not sure what I got. Guess you're gonna like it. Okay, so it's been 5 minutes, but the broccoli isn't quite tender and obviously the carrots are still really hard. So I'm gonna just let it simmer for an additional 5 minutes and then it'll be done. Yay! Avevado fantasia, and just like that, it's finished. As it simmered in the final minutes, I added about a tablespoon's worth of butter into it, just as an optional touch suggested by the recipe. And I have taste tested some of the broccoli and it is outstanding. The flavor of this recipe is phenomenal. If you like lemon, you will enjoy this recipe. Highly recommend it. It was so simple to do. Thank you, best friend, for the recommendation. This is going on my greatest hits list. So I will be making it again, but not until at least September, October. I'm glad I did it now though, because it is exceptional. And here's the finished product. Oh, it looks and tastes and smells amazing. And there you have it, lemon chicken skillet. It's easy, it's quick, it tastes amazing. Happy cooking, and until next time, stay just short of fantastic.